Welcome to the final day of the 2021 Harlem Book Fair. We close today with what I believe to be our most promising program. We feature new voices, we read for our children, we explore new places, we celebrate our strength, and lay the groundwork for our future. I hope you enjoy this program as much as our team has had in putting it together. I'll see you at the end of the show.
Greetings. I, Bob McNeil, have the pleasure of hosting the Harlem Book Fair once again. Along with that enjoyable task, this event helps me understand more about literature. Literature, from its very beginning, always provided instructions. Teaching the masses through words was a large part of African poetry and art. The Ethiopian fabulist Aesop composed allegorical stories centuries ago, and those tales continuously edify new generations. Eons passed, and the need for words of guidance continued in America when our people endured torture and bondage. No amount of whips or chains stopped strong ancestors from communicating vital messages in spirituals. Ever aware of the tradition to inform, the authors associated with the Harlem Book Fair use their medium to share meaningful messages concerning the modern world. The authors presented in today's event showcase their work that captivates and educates. Kindly listen and love their enlightening offerings.
Hello, I'm Nikki Grimes, and I'm so glad I could be here at the Harlem Book Fair. I never imagined it would be virtual though, but virtual is better than not at all. In case you don't know, I'm an author who specializes in books for children and young adults. I write poetry and prose, chapter books, novels for middle grade and young adults, fiction and nonfiction, biography and historical fiction, and memoir. That's a lot. You might have read Meet Denitra Brown or Bedtime for Sweet Creatures, or my chapter book series about Diamond Daniel. I've written a ton of books. So you'll have to go to nikkigrimes.com when you have time to see all of them. But today I'm here to talk to you about Southwest Sunrise, my newest book. And it's a picture book. And it's all about a boy named Jaden, whose family moves him from New York City to a desert town in New Mexico. Now, New Mexico is a long way away from New York City, and I would know because I've lived in both places. In fact, I was born in New York. I was born in Harlem Hospital to be exact. Harlem was the first place I called home. I even did my first poetry reading there, the County Cullen Library. As for New Mexico, it would be many years before I visited there for the first time. But once I did, I fell in love, especially with Santa Fe and Taos, New Mexico. I've been there countless times, and I can't wait to go back. Did I tell you that I love to travel? Yeah, it's one of the things I miss right now. But I also love living in one place. Because when I was young, I was constantly being moved from place to place to place. Growing up in and out of foster care, I lived in more homes than I can count. But I didn't stay in them long enough for any of those homes to feel like my own. Thankfully, those days are over. Home is now a house in Southern California, where I have lived for 20 years. Even though I've been here for 20 years, I still remember what it feels like to move to a place that's strange, a place where you don't know anyone, where you don't have any friends, a place where nothing outside your front door seems familiar. If you've ever moved to a new neighborhood, I'll bet you know what that feels like too. Well, that's exactly what happened to Jaden, the character in Southwest Sunrise. Only he didn't just move from one neighborhood to another, he moved from one state to another. When Jaden left the streets of New York City, he could barely find New Mexico on the map. My artist friend, Wendell Miner, loves the Southwest almost as much as I do. He's an illustrator, and besides his many books, he's painted dozens of paintings of Southwest, especially of New Mexico. So when he and I decided to do a book together, it made perfect sense that our book should be about the Southwest. I love the deep blue sky in New Mexico, and the Red Rock Mountains, and the wildflowers, and the red chili peppers hanging outside the window, also hang indoors and both outside of the house. And I love lizards and birds, and there's so many different kinds of birds there, different from the ones I see in the city. And I love the pink adobe houses, and well, why don't I just show you? You can find all of them in Southwest Sunrise. But first, you'll have to get on an airplane with Jaden. Southwest Sunrise. Too old to cry myself to sleep, I hide behind my baseball cap, close my eyes, and pout all the way from New York to New Mexico, mad about moving to a place of shadows. That's all I see when we land. Why are we here? What is so great about New Mexico? I wake up to a knife of sunlight slicing through the room, Dad says is mine. I rub my eyes, stare out the barless window at a mountain striped in rainbow. Hey, who put that there? I didn't see it last night. I pat across a cool tile floor, spy a rope of red chili peppers dangling in the kitchen window. Bet it's the only color I'll find here. Everybody knows browns and tans are the only colors deserts are good for. Even so, I step outside to take a look around, gripping the field guide Mom gave me at breakfast. I flip through the pages, spot fancy named flowers in lots of bright shades I don't expect to find. Wait, there's the one called Wine Cup, spilling its burgundy beauty for me to drink up. Oh, hot red firewheel flowers. Their tips flame yellow-orange across the canyon. There's a patch of calypso orchids. So glad I didn't miss them, dancing purple in the wind. My mom loved those. What do you know? Opposite our house, I discover another kind of color, a house made of pinkish clay with edges round as bubbles, adobe. I shiver from the silence, unbroken by the familiar sound of sirens, but not for long. A few yards down the road, I pick up the mad chatter of winged gossips passing secrets from one tree to another. The guidebook calls them pinyon trees. Someone should tell these flying chatterboxes magpies are beautiful when their beaks are still, when they sail on the air and right across the sky with the long black tips of their tails. I look up, try to understand the deep waves of turquoise overhead. I search for the end of blue, but there is none. Where was all this sky in New York City? Was it hiding? Never mind the sky. I still miss the feeling of wow, craning my neck to study the tops of skyscrapers. I lower my eyes to watch where I'm going. A giant black bird parades by, feathers slick as wet hair. I cluck at him like he's a simple city crow, but the guidebook says it's a raven. The kingly bird cocks his proud head and stares me down for the insult, then slowly struts away, certain I can't catch him. My early morning walk kicks up another surprise, one stunned cousin of the alligator. I squat down, catch the lizard with cupped hands, feel his curved digits skitter along my palm, as ready to run as I am to let him. I shade my eyes from the desert sun and squint. The river of sand washes up bleached bones like seashells at Jones Beach. Rib, bird skull, turtle shell. What stories do they have to tell? I reach road's end, turn the corner, and am startled by stone towers off in the distance, red rock pillars holding up the sky. Daddy should have told me this new place has its own skyscrapers. Jaden, I hear Mom's voice cut through the quiet. Time to head back, but not before I pick a few flowers. I wave to Mom where she waits on the porch, flash her a fistful of flowers, and the first smile she's seen since New York. Maybe I can think about calling this place home. The end. Well, what do you think? I hope you like that. I hope you get to go to the Southwest sometimes because it is gorgeous. And I'm so glad that I got to write a book about it, illustrated by Wendell Miner and published by Bloomsbury. So I hope you'll look for it. I think you'll like it. Bye-bye.